Hi everyone, I'm JH Cycles. Thanks for joining me. It's a very wet, windy, stormy day in Edinburgh. I'm also surrounded by boxes because we're in the process of moving, but some very exciting news. We've got the new bike back home with us today. So let's have a look at what we went for. As you can tell, Colnago V4RS in a size 420. The Elite Drive wheels on there. We have the EXS handlebar on there. The trusty Berkeley saddle. And let's have a look and go through everything individually, all the components, and see how we got down to the 6.9 kilogram weight. That was more, give a gram or two. We were more or less exactly 6.9 grams. So let's jump into it and see how we got to that weight. So let's start at the handlebars. These are the EXS handlebars that I did the video on. I'll put the link up in the top for you to watch that. And I've given them one ride or two rides so far, and they are absolutely solid. Got the really nice kind of dimple details on there. Out front mount, which I must say, I had a bit of a problem with this to begin with, just because, and I've had this in universal mounts before, where the Wahoo fitted in, but it rattled a lot. There was a lot of play actually within that. So I've had to put like a tiny bit of an offcut of bar tape in there that I then sandwiched down and turned the computer into, and that's rock solid now. But these bars so far have been absolutely great. They sent all the spacers specifically for the VR4S. So this top cap cover here, or this bottom cover, and then all of these spacers, they came with the bar as well as the top cap. And then you'll see underneath here, quite a neat solution that's going on, and you can't really see any of the cables in there. Supplied all the little bungs and everything on there, and see the really minimal air over branding there. So as I say, these have been really good, really good so far. Very impressed with them. Mechanic Elliot from Edinburgh Bike Fitting, who fitted these, was really impressed. Routing was super simple, loads of space, very happy. This mount came with the bars, so did the top cap, all the spacers and everything. So super happy with that. You can see actually here on the frame, this fade we've got kind of running out, the silver running into the matte. On top of the seat post, we've got the Berkeley saddle, which I've had on various bikes now. It's about 91 grams, really nice. We've then got the frame. I'll pop up either a couple pictures or what the weights were. I weighed this separately in a video, which I'll put the link up for, but we took the front mech hanger and the rear mech hanger off, and we weighed that again without, and I'll put that up there. I'll also put up a picture of all the weights of the steerer once that was cut as well. But the frame so far, it seems very stiff. Would I say it's stiffer than the SL6 S-Works? Probably. I think you feel it. I can't really feel it that much, to be honest. And I'm a bit wary of people that say they can feel the minute differences like that. Where I'm really feeling it is when I put that little bit of extra effort in at the top of a climb, or if I'm really trying to put the power down, it feels that little bit easier to keep going, and that the transfer of the weight or the transfer of the power is to the back wheel a little bit easier. But I've not ridden it enough to be able to comment on it properly yet. It's very similar to the SL6, but I think it's a tiny bit stiffer. So wheels, we've got the Elite Drive 50Ds on there with the Ride Now TPU tubes. They seem pretty good. At the moment, there is a tiny bit of disc rub on there, possibly to do with the discs being and the rotors being brand new. But we'll see how that goes. And I've got the Continental GP 5000 25mm cream wool tires on as well. So I've never had tan wool tires. Always wanted some, but finally went for it, and I think it looks pretty sweet actually. And then again, in terms of the stopping power, I went for the Galfa Road Waves. Let's see if I get this to focus. The Galfa Road Waves in 140. I'm only about 62, 63 kilos. And in Edinburgh, there's not a huge amount of hills. So I've tried those. So far, they've been really good, even on the bedding in. Not a single squeak or sound from them. And stopping's been great. Using the Dura-Ace brake calipers there. And then coming round to the drivetrain, we've got the 5034 Dura-Ace chain set, crank set there, and that is an 165mm crank, so the shortest that I've ever had, and it's going well so far. On top of that, we've got the Asioma power pedals, they're dual-sided, and waxed the chain as well, which I've never done before. And yeah, I've had a couple of rides on that. It's a bit noisy to begin with, but clean as a whistle. Rear mech is the Dura-Ace. We've got a 1234 on there, which I was hoping it was going to come with the 30, because I didn't know that I really needed the 34, and it adds quite a bit of extra weight as well, but we'll roll with that for the time being. Front mech is also Dura-Ace. I've got my Bontrager XXX bottle cages. Went for data bar tape. I'll put the weight of that up actually. That was very light compared to some of the stuff that was in the shop, and that's been working out pretty well. And that's the build so far. So as I say, that comes out at exactly 6.9 kilos on the nose without spending a huge amount more. I think I would really struggle to get it down a lot lighter. The spec that it's in already is quite an expensive build. The 50mm deep rims, they're 1300. You could probably get them down maybe 50-100 grams more, but you'd be spending a lot more to actually do that. Saddle, I don't think you could get much lighter. Bar, whilst keeping something that's one piece and aero, I don't think you could get much lighter. That's about 300 grams. Pedals and all the other stuff is are pretty good on the weight. So I'm happy with sub 7. The S-Works was actually 6.6, but yeah, it's 6.9 including pedals, cages, and the computer mount, not including the Wahoo itself. So as I say, I've only given it 1 or 2 rides. I'm gonna give it a proper ride for a good few weeks, if not months, and I'll give a a full review on everything. But as I say, this was built up at Edinburgh Bike Fitting by Elliot. Did a great job. It was super straightforward. And on the couple of rides I've had with it so far, it's been a real pleasure. I'll maybe mention, just before we go, my first experience on Dura-Ace. So I've had Shimano before, but it was Ultegra 11-speed mechanical. Since then I've been riding SRAM Red, the old 11-speed E-Tap, and it's taken a little bit of getting used to actually, but we'll mention that before we go, and I'll share a few more pictures of the bike as well. So on my experience of Dura-Ace, I've seen so many things on YouTube about Dura-Ace is just superior to SRAM and the speed of shifting, etc. And I've actually set this up in the eTube app to be as similar to SRAM as possible. So I've got both buttons here. They're both shifting down the cassette, so towards the 12 sprocket. And on this side, we're going up the cassette towards the 34. If I want to change the big ring, that's big ring, that's small ring. Now, what I have noticed and is I find a bit disappointing, because I had such high expectations for the Dura-Ace, was the throwing these in the buttons or the paddles before the button actually engages or before anything actually happens on the rear mech. There's a huge amount of throwing there, and then when you do tap it, it's just it's not a very positive. It's not a very positive click, and there's so much movement in it before it actually engages a gear change. It's a bit annoying actually. I don't know why there's that much, or why there needs to be that much, and why when you press it, the amount that's going in, it doesn't actually do anything. I'm not quite sure what the reason for that is. It's just not very positive, and I think if I was wearing my winter gloves, I'd never be able to tell the difference between those two buttons, because the gloves are so thick that you kind of, well, certainly that I have to wear up in Scotland. Likewise with the top, it's like, you know, I'm pressing quite hard on that and nothing's happening. And you would expect, see, I don't know exactly, right, so I found the button, and it's actually, you know, it takes quite a lot of effort to kind of get that and to get that to work. And yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with that, to be honest. So that's something that I'm going to look into, and I don't know, maybe those buttons just kind of need, ideally for me, those buttons would go together. SRAM obviously only has one button that does that, but yeah, a little bit disappointed with that. And I find myself thinking that I've pressed for a gear change, but actually I need to press in a lot harder and further, and that wasn't something that I was expecting. Right, so I'm going to prop you up, try and do a bit of a Freehub sound check here, because that seems to be the done thing that everyone does on YouTube. So let's see what we've got here. So there we are, everyone. That's the new Colnago V4RS running Dura-Ace 12-speed, Elite Drive 50D wheels, the Galfer, Road Wave 140mm centre lock calipers, Burke Lupina saddle, EXS air over bar and stem cockpit, Ride Now GPU tubes, and the Bontrager XXX cages. So like I say, I'm going to do a lot more videos on this. If you've liked this channel and or even this video and the channel, hopefully, please do like and subscribe and click the bell icon. It really helps, and it really helps the video reach more people, and that will help me make more and more videos. I'll try and reply to everyone that posts a question or a comment. So any questions, please ask. I'm going to try and get back to the guys that asked the question about the cockpit and how that measures, and hopefully I'll get that right. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'm JH Cycles, and I'll see you again soon for another video on the V4RS. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see or want to know, drop me a message. I'll do a video. Thanks. Bye.